The only thing between you and what you want out of your life is discipline. Today, I want to talk about how being committed to yourself is probably the only solution in your life in order to reach your highest potential, achieve all of your goals, and actually live the life of your dreams. I feel like discipline is the word nobody talks about. Everybody avoids it. We need to start normalizing being disciplined, holding ourselves accountable, and I really want to pinpoint on the topics of how I struggled with discipline, how it has changed my life in such a short amount of time, why it is such an important aspect of our life, and overall just how it affects you and the life that you're building for yourself. I honestly just think discipline comes down to taking better care of yourself, following through with the things you say you're going to do in your life, keeping those promises to yourself, and just becoming someone of your word. And I did not have that growing up. I did not see it. It was not normalized for me. And it wasn't until I got to this point in my life where I felt unsatisfied. I was unhappy. I knew I was not where I wanted to be in my life. That's when I realized that something was truly missing and I needed to show up differently. I really want to normalize discipline and bring awareness to it because I know a lot of people struggle with it, and it truly is one of the biggest things in between us and what we want out of our life. It's very simple when we break it down, but of course, it's not easy. The first part I want to discuss with you about discipline is just how I struggled with it because I know a lot of people really face this problem in their life, and it's learning to overcome that because we want to feel motivated every single day, but that is just not the reality of it. And we need to become someone who is very accountable. But the question is, like, how do we do that? Everybody has a different way of how they commit to themselves, how they show up every single day and do what they need to do. I think it's just finding something that truly works for you. When I knew that I wanted to change and start showing up differently in my life, it was because I'm a big dreamer. Like, I've always had really big goals in my life, and I've kind of gotten to this point where now I'm in my later 20s. And there are a lot of goals and things that I wish I had achieved by now. I know it's hard to say this, but I thought by now, like, I really would be further along in my life. But I understand that it's never too late. We can choose to become somebody brand new any second we want. And that's kind of where I'm at now. And once I started to really understand that there was something heavily lacking in my life that was holding me back from really reaching all of my goals and living that dream life, is kind of when I started to look back and see all of the excuses that I've made towards all of the things that I wanted to achieve. That is why we need to have a plan in our life. We need to know what we're doing, when we're doing it, how we're doing it, so that we don't make those excuses and we don't allow them to get in the way. In order to get a deeper understanding of how I was struggling with it, I started to observe myself. It's kind of like I took a step outside of my body and just kind of saw the way I was showing up every single day, what habits I was engaging with, what behaviors I had, what my mindset looked like, and overall just seeing how I was approaching my own life and how that was compared to where I wanted to be. And of course, once I went through that process with myself, it became very clear to me that I was heavily lacking accountability in my own life and that I needed to set myself up for more success, wake up, and actually make change for myself. The reason that discipline is so important is because it truly is the bridge between where we want to be in our life. So many people talk about wanting to feel motivated. They want to wake up every single day and have a lot of energy. It's kind of like when we go through that initial experience where we really want to pursue something in our life and we get that burst of energy. We're so excited. We want to pursue it, but it's just an in the moment type of thing. And then when it comes to actually doing that thing in our life, we're silent. Like, we don't want to do it. We want to be lazy. We no longer have that actual motivation we initially had. And that's why I say motivation is just a waste of time. Like, we cannot rely on the feeling of waking up every single day and wanting to do something. We just need to do it anyways. Anyone who is successful in life and pursuing what they want and actually making it a reality for themselves, they are not lucky. They are just heavily consistent and disciplined with themselves. I personally believe that I think it just comes down to how bad you want it. How important are your goals to you? Do you want to become the highest version of yourself? Do you want to live your dream life? Like, how much does that actually matter to you? Really understanding your why is going to help you throughout this process and let go of that feeling of motivation and just showing up every single day and just doing it. Discipline truly affects us so much because it directly reflects where we currently are in our life. If there's a certain way that we are showing up, certain habits, certain behaviors that we have, we can directly correlate that with where we are in our life. Like everything is related to each other. If we constantly keep saying we want the body of our dreams, we're going to start our diet tomorrow, and we don't do that, not only are we breaking that promise to ourselves, but we're basically giving up on our own goals. We're saying that what we want to achieve in our life is not important enough. We would just rather be lazy in the moment and continuously push off what we want. And so, the best way to really understand if you are in a place in your life that you are unsatisfied, you know there are a lot of goals that you want to achieve, you want to be in a better place, you want certain results for yourself. Start looking at the way you are showing up in your life. Are you disciplined? Are you accountable? Do you keep promises to yourself? Are you setting yourself up for success every single day? Are you using the tools and resources in your life to benefit you for your own personal gain, to show up differently for yourself? I'm assuming if you're watching this video that you want to be in a different place in your life and that you want to feel motivated every single day. But I'm here to tell you to let go of the idea of motivation, and the sooner you do that, your journey becomes so much easier. And becoming disciplined with yourself over time is just going to be something that you actually enjoy, because you actually start to become someone who really values keeping promises to themselves. And it becomes easier. You want to do it every single day because you know that if you show up this way, it's going to produce the results that you want. And of course, I want to talk about how discipline changed my life, just to inspire you a little bit and show you that you are going to see results if you show up this way for yourself. I have always been a very independent person. I've always kind of just done my own thing. I've always pursued the goals that I wanted, and I just did it because I knew that I wanted an extraordinary life. And I believe that if you want more for yourself, if you want an amazing life and living out your dreams, then you are naturally just going to want to do it, because you know that if you show up this way, what you want is just going to be a natural byproduct of that. And so basically, because I've always lived on my own, I decided to move to Miami by myself about 2 years ago. And when I did that, I had a huge shift in my career. I went from the restaurant industry to working in real estate, which is basically like being your own boss, being an entrepreneur. And I was constantly surrounded by people who were motivating, who inspired me, who forced me to show up better for myself, because I constantly saw them doing it for themselves. And they had a lot of things in their life that I also wanted for myself. And I'm going to be honest, when I changed my environment, when I changed the people I surrounded myself with, that was a huge factor in showing up differently in my life. Because once I started to see these people and expose myself to it, it showed me how I needed to show up in my own life. And it naturally just started to change me. Like, I started to think differently. I started to treat myself differently. I started to really value my own time and energy and actually pouring into myself. I started to set myself up in a way that made me more successful, not only in my career, but in relationships, in my own confidence. The law of exposure will literally change your life, which is why I started to expose myself to people that had what I wanted so that I could see how they got it. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that when I started to be around different types of people, pursuing different things, and that they were very successful, it showed me how to achieve that for myself. And I realized that 99% of these people were just super strict and disciplined with themselves. They had daily schedules that were written out every single day the night before. They would wake up at the same time every single day. They would have a morning routine. They would have the same routine for their work day. They were just very consistent with themselves, and it showed in the results that they produced. And it really made me question, how am I showing up in my own life? And once I started to really ask myself, how can I show up differently? What can I do differently for myself? How can I treat myself better? What am I doing wrong currently that is holding me back from reaching that higher potential? It started to open up my mind and expand myself more, and I naturally started to evolve. And I basically just started to realize that my dream life and all the goals that I wanted to achieve were not just going to show up one day. I wasn't just going to wake up one day and magically feel motivated to get done what I need to do. I had to get a deeper understanding of my why and allow that to be my motivating factor every single day, even when I didn't want to. Things that have really allowed me to stay disciplined were creating a daily schedule for myself, learning to say no to anything that is not aligned with what I want, which is very underrated, because I used to be a yes man. I used to want to do anything for everybody else and nothing for myself. And I had to change that and start prioritizing myself. I started to make a lot of lifestyle changes that were no longer serving me, like cutting out partying and drinking, and learning to invest a lot of my time bettering myself. Figuring out ways that I can spend my time differently that are going to benefit me, help me grow as a person, and actually allow me to be more successful. I think one of the best places to start, also, which has really helped me, is just going to the gym. Going to the gym teaches you so much more than just building the body of your dreams. It holds you accountable. It makes you show up every single day because you have a goal that you want to achieve. It shows you how to be committed and determined with yourself. And most of all, it makes you keep going because you want to produce that certain result and you aren't going to stop until you achieve it. Once I started to do that with the gym, I feel like it rewired me as a person. Like my mind, I started to think differently, show up differently, creating better habits for myself, and it overall just improved my quality of life because I started to become the type of person who was building these traits into who I am by showing up that way at the gym every single week, and it translated in every single area of my life. I really hope this video just inspires you and helps you on your own journey. If there's a certain life that you want to build for yourself or a certain version of yourself that you want to start identifying as, you can become that. Nothing is off limits. You can achieve whatever you want. You can be whoever you want. It really just comes down to the way you are showing up for yourself in your own life. Like, truly, discipline is the only thing between you and anything that you want to achieve in your life. And we had to let go of this idea of motivation because it is truly holding us back from reaching our higher potential. It's learning to just be very committed to yourself. Start building a deeper relationship with yourself because the truth is, think about it in the way like if you were to start dating someone, you require a certain commitment from that person. Start giving that to yourself first. And I promise you, it is going to translate. Your life is going to change in a very short amount of time. And all it takes is a little bit of accountability, discipline, and showing up for yourself. So do that and let go of the excuses because they are no longer serving you. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited you watched till the end of this video. I'm going to be posting a lot of content on personal growth, becoming the best version of yourself, and really attracting your dream life. So if that sounds like something you like, make sure you follow, and I will see you guys in the next video.